Nitesh, I feel so good. It's de-stressing for me when I teach. Never be satiated with what you have. Always keep that passion, that fire of passion alive. From your class, like division, no. Oh my God. Hi, Nitesh.
Hi, ma'am. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
It's such a delight to see you.
Same here. The pleasure is all mine.
I wanted to do this for Teachers' Day. You have been one of
Thank
those
you.
teachers who has been always inspiring. One of those teachers who I look forward to. I mean, looking at your posts, the way you treat your students is like, I mean, it's so exceptional. I'm sure most of your students are your friends, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
I have seen your.
Fortunately. Yes. True, true.
You have always been my favorite teacher, and the more I see your posts, the more I'm proud of that fact.
Oh, that's so sweet of you, Nitesh. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm so happy you are doing this for me.
And Nitesh, I love to read your post actually. I look
Thank you.
forward to
It's a big
whatever
thing
you
for me.
write. It's
It's a
really,
real
and
big thing
I
for
think I
me.
shared that. I
A
think I
weekend
shared that
one.
with you that I take a screenshot and I share it with
Yes,
my students also. And I love the way you write. So, really proud of
yes.
you.
I mean, I am not कोई professional level पे तो नहीं लिखता हूँ. Whatever little bit of English, I mean, थोड़ा वो quality all thanks to you. It's all because of
No,
those
no, no.
roots that developed back then in school days.
No, you're being humble, but I really look forward. The way you write it, it's like, it's so honest. When you read, it's like, it's an honest review what you write without being biased, you know. So,
That motivates me to
really
write more.
good.
I wanted you to tell me about your happiness journey in terms where it all began, about your childhood, where did the teaching bug hit you? If you can start with
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Okay, Ritesh. So it so happened that I belong to a family of doctors and lawyers. Okay. So my parents were very keen that I should become a doctor too. My sister, my brother, they both are doctors. But my mom is a teacher and my grandfather was a teacher. So I don't know, right from the beginning, I had this passion to teach. I remember playing teacher all the time during my childhood days. And actually what happened in class 7th, like I was a very mediocre student when it comes to maths. I never liked that subject. But one fine day it so happened, I'm a student of Children's Academy, and the principal's son, Rohan Bhatt, he came to take a lecture as a substitute for my maths teacher. He had gone for an off, and he took it for 1 month. He came to take math, and believe me, Nitesh, for a person like me who hated maths, he made me love math. And I remember my score also, because after that and before that, I never scored this good in math. Like I got around 38 on 40 in math, only when he taught me. So it was in class 7th, I really understood the power of teacher. You know, that it is in the hands of a teacher, where he can make you fall in love with his subject. And the same thing goes vice versa. He can make you hate the subject. So I understood one thing, that if I have to be a teacher, I have to be a teacher like him. So that was one thing. And then there was no looking back. I started my teaching career. Since I was in the 11th standard itself, I started taking tuitions. And there was no financial issues at home, but I love to teach. I just loved teaching at that time also. So I topped in my college in 11th and 12th. Yes, I had a lot of problems convincing my parents to take arts. Okay, today I'm called in different career counseling session to speak about arts, and I love to talk about it because arts faculty, arts subject is taken as a very what you can say a down market in today's language. Oh, you're taking arts, it should be commerce or science, you know. So maybe my mother was like, no, no arts, Pinky, take science, and then we can decide. The way parents try to woo, you know. But I was like, no, I am taking arts, and I promise you, I will not come second in my academic career. I promise my mother I will always stand first. So don't worry that, you know, because it's arts, it's going to be simple for me. And I don't want to boast it, but I never came second. I always came first, whether it was 11th, 12th, or my TY. I was a gold medalist. Even in B.Ed, I met few wonderful teachers, you know, who made me fall in love, or who added fuel to the passion of my teaching. And even in B.Ed, I topped in English and history as my major subject.
So it's like you have been born to win. Always first.
No, you know, Nitesh, I feel so good. Uh, it's de-stressing for me when I teach. It's not at all like whatever tension I have or whatever stress, family, or kuch bhi aisa,
I think
like, you
anyone
know,
who
my
has
son is
attended your
not well or something.
lectures will understand that fact that it is de-stressing for you, and that's why it's like a privilege for us to attend such a lecture. I mean, the way you analyze things, the way you are, I mean, the way you put things forth, it's really inspiring. Ma'am, has there been any teacher
Yeah.
that you look as an inspiration for? I mean, someone who has inspired you, anyone in particular, any teachers throughout your journey so far?
Yes, definitely. One is Rohan Bhatt, sir. And second, during my college days, there was this Madhu Srivastav. She was my literature teacher. The way she would teach poems again was like, I was mesmerized with the way she would teach. And whenever she would teach me, teach all of us literature, she was one lady whom she was a walking dictionary. And the way she would use vocabulary and the way she would introduce us to new words, the way she would recite the poem and analyze the poem is something which I really look forward to. And yes, looking at her, I always felt that if I'm going to teach a poem, it's going to be like her, you know. And maybe that's what I learned from her. And while I was in B.Ed, Jayashree ma'am, I learned a lot from her, you know, the way she taught us to deliver lectures of English and history. So that was one thing. I loved Jayashree ma'am during my B.Ed days.
So, what was your first stint of teaching? I mean, the first time. Do you remember the first time you were in front of a class teaching? When was that, and how was that experience? Did you have any butterflies in your stomach?
I was Yes, of course. I was very young and I was in 12th standard. And at that time, Chate classes came like a big fish in the market, you know. And since I was in Parla College, Sate College, somebody told me ki baju mein hi hai, and if you're so fond of teaching, why don't you go for a demo class? So being an English medium student, let us accept it, we're a bit overconfident about, you know, that padha lenge yaar, English ko to kya hai, it's pasand hai, so we'll teach. But then I spoke to my dad, and Nitesh, the way he taught me how to give a class, a grammar class. I still remember my first grammar class was Change the Voice, the demo which I gave. And the manager was like, yes, I'm appointing you. I love the way you teach. And when I went to teach the class, like before that, I had never faced 50 students in one class. So I was very young. So I was a bit cautious that how am I dressed up? I'm very particular about the way I appear in front of my students, even today. So the first thing was my appearance. I was very particular about it. But the students were like, you know, I don't know. I was not very comfortable. The way they were looking at me, especially 10th and 12th, I was given when I was in 12th standard.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was a challenge initially, but I think once you know your content, students love you if you deliver and you know, simplify the content to them. There was no looking back. I had such fan following and they literally kept me here, you know. I'm still in touch with those charter classes students and they're all doctors and engineers now. But oh my God, I had this huge fan. And there were cars down. That okay, ma'am, today we'll drop you to the station. Today, the ma'am, we'll drop you. That gave me a lot of impetus. That yes, I am probably doing a good job. And during the parents' meeting also, like I had students from Arya Vidya Mandir and Bandra students, but the parents came and told me that, ma'am, no one has taught grammar the way you have been teaching our kids. So that was a boost up, for a young girl of, I was like, what, 16, 17 maybe. And I was like, okay, I can do a good job. But then I did a lot of research on my content. I'm a never contented teacher. Like even today, when I have to teach, I make my fresh notes and I go through various YouTube and other things and I try to teach differently. But yes, that was an impetus for me, for sure.
But I'm sure you must have realized that teaching has changed quite a bit over the years. मतलब starting में जैसे सिखाते थे और अब जैसे सिखाते हो, it must be जमीन आसमान का फर्क होगा बहुत कुछ. There must be a lot.
Of course. That's the reason, Nitish, I started traveling and I started taking up workshops in Spain or in Thailand or wherever possible. And I wanted to learn. For me itself, I was thinking that my teaching is becoming very monotonous. I was teaching the same way. And because of the love of students, I never felt it. They never made me feel that, ma'am, same, ho raha. But then I realized that I think I can do better. So I took up this TEFL course and I now incorporate music and techniques and games and other things in my regular class.
If there was one message for aspiring teachers, if someone whose happiness lies in teaching, what message would that be from your side? What would you say to them? What should they do? How should they
I
live
think
their
it's
dream?
how should they build their dream is never be satiated with what you have. Always keep that passion, that fire of passion alive. What happens in few cases is initially it's there and it is dormant at a particular stage. That should not happen. That happens with, I think, most of the cases. Many of my ex-students also come with other corporate jobs and ma'am, bus ho gaya, I'm feeling it. No, you need to keep that passion alive. And how do you do it? By not always overestimating yourself. There has to be a hunger, a quest to know better and to know that you are not Miss Know-It-All or Mr. Know-It-All. So keep that passion
Okay.
alive.
Okay. And we can very much sense that, like you said, you prepare for your lectures. Every time we had you in a lecture, we understood that you have come prepared. I mean, it's not just for the sake of giving a lecture. It's more about how much knowledge about that subject you have grasped and how much knowledge you are giving to that student out of it. And that's what we saw in you too. So have there ever
Thank
been
you.
students who left you inspired so far? Anything that
So
students
many.
because
Yes, obviously. There have been so many students. If I have to name, others might feel bad, but so many students, like, honestly, it's one is, I'm not saying because you are interviewing me. I love, as I told you, I love reading your post and the way you are conducting yourself, the way you take care of your parents, the way you take them out, the way you take care of your sister. These things matter a lot. Then I have students like Manthan Patel, workaholic, and of course I always tell him ki thoda sa chill maar. But yes, I learn a lot. He doesn't take a holiday at all when it comes to work. And so many. Nilakshi is there. Then your batch, I think Nilakshi and Sham Tiwari.
my batch, yeah, but different division.
Yeah, so he's also an entrepreneur handling a business, but I like the way he's dedicated towards it and how techno savvy. I learn a lot from students. Then I wasn't a member of Instagram and all, but I understood from them that when you put it on social media, you do better. So many students have written things so well, and they have now they've got back to me and they're like, ma'am, you won't believe I've become a writer because you one day told me that you write so well. I honestly I don't remember that incident, but students come and tell me that they have shared answer papers with me that, ma'am, see, these are the kind of feedbacks you've given it to us, that I need to work
remember
on
that.
this and this is my strength. So it makes you feel good, definitely.
Over the time now, this is an era of virtual teaching. How different is virtual teaching from the actual teaching, and which one do you prefer and why? Which of the two?
I would always prefer I would always prefer an in-class teaching. Meanwhile, given the situation, fine, online is a better substitute, but it is just a substitute. One need to understand that. I need to meet students. I need to see students because many a times, looking at their facial expression, I could gauge, whether they are following it or no. Because many a times, as a teacher, I gauge the students' span of attention, concentration, or even mood. As I told you, they come with a lot of baggage. There's so much of stress back home, some personal issues. Wherein when I look at them and I understand that, after the class, I sit with them, I counsel them. So that's very important for me to meet them in person. Right now, okay, I try to keep personal meeting at times, but definitely it's just a substitute, meanwhile, given the situation.
So, ma'am, in the last part, I just have a small rapid fire thing with you.
Okay.
Happiness to Pinky Tripathi is?
Family.
If not a teacher, what would Pinky Tripathi be?
Lawyer.
Your favorite Bollywood actor?
Salman Khan.
3 movies that left you inspired that you recommend others to watch? 3.
It's this Hichki, Tare Zameen Par, and one is I'm very bad with movies, yaar. This Zindagi Mile Na Dobara.
Any book recommendations for the ones who are seeing this?
The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari.
Okay, the ultimate one. I mean, like that's one book that you think.
I love that book. I can read on and on and on and on.
From our batch, I don't know. You'll have to go back in time. Can you name 3 students from my class?
From your class, like division? No. Oh my God. Oh shit. No way. No, Nitish Sani. I don't remember this. Oh God.
I was not even a ranker.
No,
and you remember mine? Maybe because of Facebook right now. I was not even a ranker.
Okay, I really... No, I will tell you one thing. If you remember, I gelled more with the mediocre students and I would gel more with them. Rankers were like, okay, rankers, it's okay.
One advice to Narendra Modi.
Please don't bring religion into politics. That's what I want to say. Let's have a secular country in true sense.
An advice to Kangana Ranaut.
Zip it up.
And lastly, one advice to Sushmita Sen.
Oh, she is my role model. She and Madhuri Dixit. So, wow. Sushmita Sen, I want you to do more of movies and more of Netflix series. Like I binge watched. Oh, I loved it. Binge watch.
One message from this amazing teacher for the world.
Love kids. They are your kids. They are not, for me, any teacher, each and every teacher should consider students as their kids. And the real love follows. You don't have to do anything else. The bond which a mother and a son or a daughter shares, that's the bond with me and my kids.
Nice.
Have that bond.
Nice. That left us all inspired. Thank you so much. Thank you for doing this with us and wishing you a very happy Teachers Day. I can't give you any gift or anything of that sort, but all I can say is thank you.
This is the biggest gift. Oh, this is the biggest gift. I'm so proud. I'm so happy to do this.
And thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Most welcome.
Thank you.
Most welcome. Bye. Bye, Nitish.
Chorun shakti achhe, amar gona bhara গরজ ভরা প্রাণ করি মায়ের গুণগান আমার গোলা ভরা ধান আমার গরজ ভরা প্রাণ করি মায়ের গুণগান